1, go.
Hey! Alright, welcome to the Far Outpost. Here's the 1-year gym review. We started this gym in January of 18. Did our first video in May of 18. So let's take you through it. So over here, this is kind of our mini Strongman section. We have some Atlas stones. We just got a yoke from Titan. This was on sale for $300. We thought that was a really good price. It was like $675 shipped from Rogue. It goes up to 72 inches, which is fine for us here at our height. And then this is just about 20 bucks worth of sticky goat tape that I'm using partially just to pad my my traps, but also for when the stones go over the top of it, it won't scuff up the powder coat. These stones right here, these two are both 16-inch Slater molds, and that is a 18-inch Slater mold. You can see that this is just painted. These are stencils just from the Hobby Lobby. And then on the bottom, this is the finish. I'll talk about that in a second, but this is that finish coat that Steve Slater has you put on it to fill in all the air pockets that you have. I will say, these are not difficult to make, but they're difficult to make well. These two smaller ones are 175-pound mold, which is this guy right here. And the first stone came out over 10 pounds light. The second go at it, we actually put 3 pounds of steel in this one right here. And we got it up, we were still a pound short, even with 3 pounds of metal in it. And that was with me filling the mold, shaking the air, filling the mold, shaking the air, filling the mold, shaking the air for about an hour and 10 minutes to get it to that point. This is a 240-pound mold that came out at 221. So we haven't tried to do this a second time. But again, 20 pounds light, clearly I need some practice on that. So this is the finish that I just talked about. They sell this right on the Slater site. They also sell it at Home Depot. And then these are the stabilizing fibers that you get when you buy the molds. You have to buy these separately. If you buy off a Rogue, the molds are the same price, the shipping's the same, but you can't buy accessories like this in the finish. So if you buy off Slater's Hardware Direct, you can get these things. So now let's go over here and look this way. So what we have is, we've got all the flooring is the same as it was. This is a mix of Rep Fitness mats and like these over here, and then the mats that have some texture on them are actually from the local tractor supply store. They're horse stall mats. They all cost about the same. They're about 40 bucks for every 4 by 6 inch section. They're 3/4 of an inch thick. You can drop those stones and you won't damage your floor, although we do drop those stones into the tire over here, which I can show you real quick. Has these little Amazon square mats that are also 3/4 inch thick, but they're nowhere near as dense. We have 8 of those stacked on top of each other in this tire, so we drop into that. All right, so now let's go over here. So this is the new thing. We just got this yesterday, which is why we're updating the video. This is a hack squat leg press. We got this off of Facebook Market. It was $400. It's in really good shape for its age. We do have to clean it up a little bit. It's pretty dusty. The guy that owned the gym that sold it to me said that it just wasn't popular. But for my son, who's 14 and isn't super comfortable with a squat, and we're not sure if he went heavy, if that's good for his back and his spine and stuff at 14. So this is much safer, much easier, and it's good. We're really happy with it. Waited forever to find one that was in our price range. Scooped it up right away. So as long as we're speaking of prices, those cement Atlas stones are about, I don't know, the smaller ones are like $12 each and the bigger ones like $16 because cement's so cheap. Once you buy the molds, you can make as many as you want. Okay, so let's go to bars next. This is a hex bar from Rep Fitness. I believe this was $149. This is a ShoulderRok by Kabuki Strength. Got this on their Black Friday sale. It's normally, I think, $214. We got it for about $170. This is just your basic Amazon curl bar, about $60. The Kabuki Strength Duffalo bar. This one was again on Black Friday. I think it's normally around $600. We paid about $475 for it, but then once you put shipping back on it, it was about $525 by the time they shipped it to me. This is a Rep Fitness Power Speed Bar. This was one of the ones that was on clearance because they didn't quite cut the knurling right. So I think it was $199 I have a review of this up on the site. I'm not sure that I would buy it again, but my kid loves it, and that's all that matters is that you can lift with it, right? Here's a Thor Ohio Power Bar. This is Rogue. This one was $405 shipped. I love this. We've had this almost a year at this point. We use it every week. It looks brand new. I expect this to outlive me. This thing is phenomenal. Here's a Rogue Ohio deadlift bar. The story on this bar is that we bought it off of their boneyard and they never shipped it. And then we called back, got a refund, bought a second one out of the boneyard, and they never shipped it. They just said that they couldn't find it or the website was a little off. So after 2 or 3 rounds of that, it took about a month. Finally, they just shipped me a new one at the boneyard price. So totally happy with Rogue. I thought they did a great job of trying to think of the customer in that instance. Love this bar. Obviously would buy from them again. And so good company. And then this is the Rogue 2.0. This is what we started the gym with. We bought this off of Craigslist last year when we started. It was the first thing we bought, and I paid $200 for it. I think it's $265 new. This one was the boneyard price, so it was $250 plus $15 to ship it, so $265. And this is just a Titan gun rack, so $60. Okay, as far as the lat pull down, so this is the same one we got about mid-year. We got this from a fire station in Denver, about 15 minutes north of us, and it was $300. The firemen actually took it apart for me because they were in the middle of calls on a Saturday. It was phenomenal watching 6 guys rip this thing apart in like 3 minutes flat. And then my kids helped me put it back together. We've again used it weekly. We love it, and that's why I think this is going to be great too. Everything we've bought, we have a real specific purpose for, and we've used it. We haven't bought anything that's just sat around. It's been nice. So to go with this, we started out with just some Amazon, accessories. Nothing special, like think cap equipment quality. Good, but nothing really super special. So we upgraded this year in the last month or so, I believe, or maybe 2 months. We upgraded to all MagGrips. So the ones that we decided to go with, are we got the wide grip, which only comes in just the standard configuration of the grips. We got 2 of the medium grips. We got the standard, and then we got the pronated. And then we got just the pronated on the close grip. So we still do have the the kind of generic Amazon stuff, but this is predominantly what we use now. We love them. They're great. I would absolutely suggest it. www.maxgrip.com. It took me forever to find this. People have reviews on these online, and I could never find the website. So when I finally found it, I got 4 of them, and I'm very happy that I did. Good stuff. Okay, outside of that, if we go over here, we have kettlebells. We have 8 kilograms for the wife, and then we have 230s, 240s, 150. We have a Rep Fitness medicine ball. This is mostly just for my son to do core work, just weighted sit-ups and decline sit-ups. This is a Titan pull for the landmine attachment, which is down there. So you put the bar in, put this over it, you can get your lower back really well. This is a Rep Fitness rope. The only thing I would say about it, we've been really happy with it, but on the mats, it does get torn up. So it doesn't need to be replaced yet, but I can tell it's coming at some point. That's gonna happen. We have monolifts for the rack, and then we have plates that go 10, 15, 25, 35, 45, 55. We started out with just Rep Fitness, which you guys have already seen a review on. And then this year, we added the CrossFit plates from the games in July. Those are awesome. My kids love them. They're super popular. Everybody wants to lift with these. We did weigh them. They all weigh the same. But, within 0.2 of a pound. But people just love it. So I will totally look into getting more of these this year. As far as the belts, this is kind of the generic Rep Fitness belt we started out with. And then we went with the 4th of July sale for Pioneer leather. We got an American flag belt lever, which has been awesome. And then we also, if I can undo this real quick, we got a custom belt, put my little name on the front, and then put our logo with some motivation on the back, train hard, the Far Outpost be great, right? That's a call out to Brian Shaw. You'll see that in a second. But he's a local 4 times world's strongest man, 3 times Arnold champion, local celebrity, perhaps one of the greatest American bodybuilders ever. Not bodybuilders, strongmen. It depends on how you feel about Cass. So outside of that, we've got some change plates. We've got just $6 collars off Amazon. These work with everything, including the log, which just got lucky. I'll explain that. But we put up some motivation for the kids. We got some Arnold posters. We got some banners from 8 Men and from Rep Fitness, more Rep Fitness, some Massonomics, some Lift. We got a Conquer Arnold poster over there. I'll show you one more thing and then we'll get to the rack. So we built this plyo box. We got the directions off of Pinterest and we built that. It wasn't as hard as you would think as long as you have the right tools. It ended up being about the same price as buying one. I just wanted an afternoon project with my sons, so that was kind of fun for us and it works really well. This is a signed poster. Brian Shaw offers these on his site, so I had him personalize it for my son. My son was blown away by this. He's taking it to college with him. He was super excited, so I'll have to order another one and I'll have Brian personalize it to me this time. So here's some slam balls. All these slam balls are from Rep Fitness. This was Black Friday, so I paid like $10 each for these, and they go from 35, 40, 45, and 70. I would say that if you live in Denver, just keep checking their site. They clearance stuff out every once in a while, and when they do, you can just get steals. It's crazy. So these right here are all Rep Fitness. We have from 5 pounds to 75 pounds. This is an official Rep Fitness rack. So all of this right here was, I don't know, like 550 for the weights and 150 for the rack. And then it was another about 550 for the weights to go from 55 to 75. But that rack is a generic rack that Rep Fitness had in the back in their clearance section. And so I just had them sell it to me. So I paid almost nothing for that second rack. The 2 benches, that bench is what we started with. It's a body solid. It's really big, really heavy, really sturdy, and that's great, but it also prevents people from wanting to use it because it's so hard to move around. This is a Rep Fitness, and it's not the newest one. It's not the 5000, it's not the Zero Gap. It's like the 3000 model from last year, but we love it. It's easy to move around. It's easy to pick up and maneuver. It has adjustments that go all the way up and all the way down. So that is our primary bench press, shoulder press, all that kind of stuff that we do. That's primarily on the Rep Fitness. Back there in the corner, we have a Titan deadlift jack. I think I paid $88 for that. It's been exactly what you'd hope for a deadlift jack to be. And then we have the dip attachment from Titan as well. I think again, $75. So, okay, so as we come out to the rack, this is a Titan T3. It's got the extension on it. We have pin pipe safeties for the 24-inch section in the back, and we have their safety strap system. This is the new one. After the recall, they sent us these new straps, and that is for the 36-inch section in the front. My son uses the rings, so we have rings. Those come down. We also have bands back there for assisted pull-ups, and we have these Spud Ink pulleys that we were using previously to getting the lat pull-down machine, and so they're so cheap we're not going to sell them. We'll just keep them, and if there ends up being some use for them or some type of advantage to having them, then we'll grab them. As far as kind of more safety equipment, we have figure 8s from Pioneer Leather. I like these better than my old Valero just kind of wrist wraps for deadlifts. I like these better, but it really is personal preference. These will kind of cut into your wrists a little bit, especially if you have bigger hands. And these, obviously, you can make fit as comfortably as you want. I just like the feel of this better. So there's those. I'm trying to see if there's anything else over here. Okay, so now we get to the Strongman log. So this is a Titan 10-inch log. Came in at 86 pounds. It was advertised around 75, so a little heavier than the advertisement. It also has 2-inch collars. A lot of people haven't been lucky enough to have that happen. People have had a lot of hard time getting collars that fit on them. I have a review up on the Far Out post that shows that we actually just got lucky. Just got lucky. It's Titan. It's the lottery of fitness equipment. So we just got lucky. But everyone loves using that. It's fun to press, it's fun to put weight on. We have enough clearance that I can actually put full plates on it, but I try to just load it up with the change plates and try to get as many, you know, 10s and 5s as I can on there. I would like to get some of those green calibrated Roke plates at some point, because that'll keep the clearance down, but also allow me to put a lot more weight on there. I don't know that that's necessary. We're not trying to get huge, but it'd be good to have some of those. So we'll look at that if Rogue does another hundo pricing or another, you know, ships free kind of deal. That might be worth it to us. The tire we got off of Craigslist. It was just free at a local tire shop. We just went by and picked it up. And of course the mats in it, the Amazon mats, I think we got 2 bundles for $99 or something like that, and it was just a bunch of squares. So we have about 8 over there. We try to only use them in the areas where there's not high traffic. The high traffic areas where we're going to be doing lunges or dropping or any kind of weight stuff, we try to have out here. Most of these mats are straight on the C-mat. This one right here, because this is where I deadlift, this is the de facto deadlift platform, so it has wood underneath it. And so this is where we do all our deadlifting. And that, of course, that platform has 2 layers of plywood and then a 3rd layer on top of it with the mats and the plywood in the center. I would say that it gets slippery in here, so you always have to, like, I wear these, but if you were to try to squat in here in socks, you would slip around. I did do the urethane stuff that they recommended, and I do have these kind of sticky strips to kind of help a little bit prevent that. But that's my only comment, is I wish that I had done something to this to make it tackier. But the problem is that then you get dirt and debris and all that stuff, and then how do you clean that stuff out? So there's kind of the thing. This is another, so these are all Rep Fitness bands, and they're all out of their clearance section because they were, the labeling on them was incorrect. So they're the same bands, they just got printed wrong. So again, if you could get down to Rep Fitness and get into their clearance section, it's at the back of the store. You just walk in and just walk straight to the back. It's a wooden door, and they've got all kinds of crazy stuff back there that's clearanced. So I think that's the whole tour. We're pretty excited. Everything is the way we want it now. We don't have to, there's nothing else kind of on the wish list. We'd had a wish list for a while that included a hack squat, and it included a yoke and Atlas stones, and we finally have all those things in the last couple months. So now you just have to use it, right? Have a great day, everyone.